Out of multiple questions that can be asked on servlets, these are the following questions. What are servlets? What can servlets do? Why do we use servlets? State the tasks that servlets can do. Describe the servlet architecture of request response. So when you are answering all these questions, there are certain points that you can take into consideration. So सबसे पहले, what is servlet? It is a small, self-contained portion of code that is executed at web server. Servlet is a server-side technology. The servlet will send response to the client's HTTP request. So the client's browser sends HTTP request to the servlet. The servlet will analyze the request and generate the response and send the response back to the client. Now servlets can do following things. A servlet can process or store the data submitted by an HTML form. The servlets can provide dynamic content. Example, it will return the result of a database query to the client. Servlet can manage the state information on a stateless HTTP. So basically, it provides something called as cookies, something called as sessions, which helps you to manage state information. Servlet can handle multiple requests concurrently. Servlet can forward requests to another server or another servlet. So it can deal with something that is on another server also. Servlet can maintain and track the sessions. As I told you, it helps you to deal with the stateless nature of HTTP. It can pass data between themselves and it allows you to access the EJBs, that is Enterprise Java Beans. Now, what is the request response architecture of a servlet? Now, the process starts when web browser sends a request to the web server from the HTML page. So now, the web browser has received the HTTP request. This HTTP request is then forwarded to the server. Now, inside the server, there is servlet container inside which we have multiple servlets. Now, as you can see over here, the servlet will process this request and it will generate an appropriate response. While doing so, it also has the access to the database if it wants to take some data or insert some data or update some data in the database. Then, once the response is generated, the response reaches the web browser. Now, understand that web browser is your client. So, via web server, the HTTP response will come to the web browser. Now, in doing all of this, it will use multiple methods. The initialization is done via init method. The actual handling of the request is done via service method. And once the work is done, everything is done, servlet has handled multiple requests. Then you can just remove the servlet from the memory using the destroy method. So why we use servlets? In short, if anyone is asking you what are the advantages of servlets, then you can write some points from this as well. Sorry. Why servlets? Servlets are loaded into memory once and they run from the memory thereafter. So every time the request comes from for the servlet, you don't have to load it into the memory. You load once and then you keep on running it from the same thing. Whenever a new instance or a new request comes, you don't have to create a process, but it goes by thread creation method. So why is it good? Because the threads are lightweight whereas the processes are heavyweight. They are a powerful object-oriented abstraction of HTTP. So without going into details of HTTP, you can still handle the HTTP request and response easily. Because they are written in Java, they are portable across web servers and platforms. Not only that, you can easily integrate them with the web servers, as well as they are supported by several web servers. Any web server that supports Java will support the servlet technology. They are easy to design and implement. They can easily handle or service the client request. Because it runs on JVM, you automatically get the security and the reliability of JVM. They are a very good replacement of CGI because they are more scalable, more robust, and more secure than CGI. Obviously, CGI is not portable also, whereas servlets, they are portable. Because they run on server side, they provide you code protection. And as I already told you, you can continuously access the database using JDBC, ODBC drivers, etc. So that's it for this answer. Thank you.